I walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing a million opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I roam is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is thrown. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help when I'm heading home in life. They say that everybody got a purpose, so I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot, sharpshooter, superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up, bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up and bang out the world's weight. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot. Hot shot. Hot shot. Hot shot. Hot shot.
What up, everybody? How you doing? It's Mike Watson, one of your hosts for the Agents of the Nerdy, and we're back again with another episode. Please forgive the chaosness that's been going on. So if you watch our show on a regular, thank you so much. There was a couple weeks ago, we had 3 weeks off. We all had something going on, so we canceled the show. And then one of us had something else going on, so we canceled the show. Then somebody else had something going on, so we canceled the show. We did that 3 weeks in a row. So we don't want to do that anymore. Last week I went out of town for a family trip, but Tessa, ID, Dakota and company, they still did the episode. So we had an episode last night. Dakota, Tessa, and ID are doing a trivia with another stream tonight that they have going on. So they may come in on the back end or whatnot, but we did not want to cancel the episode. So we still are doing our episode. We want to still... Although we all enjoy streaming together, that's why we end up canceling the episodes, because we like our vibe and we end up, we don't want anybody to miss out. But we feel it is important to keep the show going so everybody knows to tune in with us. I don't know how long the trivia is going to be. I know we got a lot to talk about, so hopefully we do get to see ID, Dakota, and Tessa today. And Midori is actually sick, so she's not going to be with us this week. But I got two heck of a guest to fill in until they come back in, or just to hold us off for this week. And I want to bring them up. Danny J. Quick and my man JP is in the building. What's up?
What's up? It's your boy Danny J. Quick in the building, man. We appreciate you having us on, man. This is my second time being on Agents of Nerdy, and I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you can make it. Tessa, yeah, we are live on Twitch. I'm looking at the Twitch stream right now. JP, also, I had JP on earlier on Chat and Draw this week. Yep. Danny J. Quick is a regular guest on Chat and Draw. My man has been on there a lot. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves real quick and what they do. Go ahead, Danny J. Quick.
Yes, it's your boy Danny J. Quick. I am the co-creator of Ace Blade and King Supreme. I am the lead writer and CEO of Fourth Wall Productions. We make comics. We do, yes, it's Ace Blade in the building. I am also a co-host on Top 5 Live podcast with Morgan Iverson and Javon Stokes. I am a co-host on a little podcast called Foretales Podcast with me and Kyron Silva, and we also do the Super Shorts podcast. So I'm trying to stay busy like Mike. Mike be killing the game, working all day every day. I work most days a little bit at a time. So I'm trying to do a little something.
I appreciate it. Dakota, thank you so much for subscribing for 7 months in a row. Awesome. And we're up and running. I'll say that. I wasn't even going to try to mess with Streamlabs and Restream. I'm going to have to set up a day with y'all to come over like a couple days beforehand so we can test it all the way through, because I finally made my decision. I'm pulling the trigger. I'm sticking with Restream. All right. So, but thank you for checking on me. I appreciate you. You're so good. You and Tesla, you guys are awesome. All right. Next, we got JP. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
How you doing? I'm Jean-Paul Deschamps. I'm basically an illustrator, to humbly introduce myself. But I'm also the founder of a studio called Blackberry Juice and the book called Sons of Fate, which is out now. You can go check that out at blackberryjuice.com. Like I said, I'm just a humble illustrator who looks to expand my creations to the masses and see what they think. I currently got a Kickstarter that is a prequel to the Sons of Fate series I have called My Deadly Beloved, happening now. So go check it out and get a vibe of what I'm about. Actually watching the show, you'll actually figure out I got a lot to say. So I'm an avid fan. Me and Mike go back a ways. I called him and said I would like to be on this. He was like, I was going to call you anyway. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So let's go. Yeah,
I am currently right now trying to find the link to your Kickstarter so we can get that out there. I mean, we might as well promote you while you're on here. Let's not waste no time.
Mike did a really dope piece the other day that we are going to talk about some more after this. That looks like hopefully it'll be something, because, man, like I said the other day, man, you killed it. For a person who's never drawn a character before to a person who's drawn a character for years. Your first attempt was far better than my first attempt. Hats off to you, man. Hats off to you.
I appreciate it very much, sir.
Plus, Mike got a haircut today. He had bad hair yesterday, and today he got a haircut. So that's impressive.
Oh, yeah. Mike like to go get the cuts, man. He like to show up with a fresh cut every now and then.
He keeps it fresh.
Hey, Danny J. Quick got it right. I like to get a new cut every now and again.
Now and again. That's what I'm saying. I saw it yesterday, and I'm like, all right. So today, you got a haircut? It's all gone. Nothing poking out the top of the hat. Nothing poking out the hat. Nothing.
It finally reached that point for me where it's getting on my nerves. What's up, Andrew? Thank you for tuning in. Manifesto, what's up? Oh, good job, man. Glad you got those. All right, so we got lots of stuff to talk about. We've been off for a minute. I haven't been on the show for a minute, and we're about to dive in. The fellas I have on here right now filling in the empty chairs, holding us down as substitute hosts today. They got very strong opinions, so we'll see where it takes us today. I want to start off with a soft pitch. We won't stay on it too long. Denny J. Quick has been a person that was against my favorites.
Why don't we start with this?
My favorite DC movie, Man of Steel. And he's participated in a few different discussions of mine where I've debated with people. And I'm scrolling through Facebook, doing my thing, checking it out. And all of a sudden, I come across this post I'm tagged in where it says, I owe Michael Watson an apology. Man of Steel is a good movie. I said, what?
That's what time does, my man. Time tells the truth. There you go.
How did we get there, Danny J. Quick?
Why were you at the other side in the first place? What didn't you like?
So I'm still not a fan of the DCEU, right? But going back, right. Going back to, so me and Mike we've had multiple talks about Man of Steel. and he broke one thing that he said broke through to me that changed the whole film, right? He talked about the one scene that I think most people took notice to this one scene, and it really killed them when, Pa Kent walks into the tornado, right? And in that scene right there previously, they're in the car and they're arguing, and he's saying, yo, so if I, if somebody needs
What's
help,
up?
should I not save them? Should I not save these people? And Pa Kent's like, maybe you shouldn't, and he doesn't like, Clark is all emotional and he doesn't know what to do. He's not sure at that point. And Mike brought up a good point. At that point, he's still supposed to be a teenager. Like he's a bratty kid, he's emotional. He's still making up his mind about what he's gonna do with his life. And I got two teenage daughters. They don't know what they want to do all the time. They emotional, you know what I'm saying? So Mike putting that in perspective to me. Now, I hadn't watched the movie in a while because I just didn't enjoy it. Like I was like, okay, the fights were good, cool. I didn't like the retcons of the this means hope, all this. Like I was like, man, why do that? Like why? Like why are we doing that? But them creating that, and that really is pretty much the start of the DCEU anyway. So if they would have kept that consistent through the DCEU, I think it would have been fine. Like the change ups that they did with Batman and Superman and all of that stuff, it just wasn't thought out enough. But Man is Steel on its own is a solid film. It's a solid film.
All right,
That makes me...
Mike, may I pile on to your argument?
Well, let me explain the argument. Let me tell them what the argument was. Number one, it makes me very happy to hear that because never have Danny J. Quick and I've ever argued about it. It's always been very good discussions. And that's why I want you guys to understand. I don't like arguing with people, but I love talking with people with different opinions. The scene in particular he's talking about is in the car when Clark is telling his dad, I don't even know why I'm listening to you. You're not my dad.
You're not my dad.
You're not my dad, so I'm not listening to you.
What a dick.
So, right? So the problem with that scene is, and I do admit Zack Snyder made a mistake. They went with Henry Cavill for this scene because they wanted his acting prowess because it was an emotional scene happening. So they actor who actually is 15 years old. So Henry Cavill in that scene is supposed to be a 14, 15-year-old kid who is, starting to puff his chest out at his dad, but at the end of the day, his dad still runs shit. Yeah. And so in the tornado scene, when Pa Kent is saying, stop, he's telling his son to stay there with his mom. Mm-hmm. And it's also, and I know it's a lot of reading into it, but Pa Kent laid down the foundation. If you're ready to unveil yourself to what's going to happen after you show people who you are, this isn't the government. This is like our government today. They're going to take you. They're going to experiment on you. They're going to imprison you. They're going to, probably torture you. All these terrible things that his dad has put in his head as a child is there. And in that moment of hesitation, in that moment of fear, when he thinks, oh, shoot, I'm not ready for that. That second hesitation, his dad dies. And he immediately regrets it. So that's the scene I always like to talk about.
You can see the regret. Like you can see, right. And when you were talking about the emotional, the Henry Cavill emotional, piece of it, you can immediately see the regret. And you're like, yo, if I would have made this decision right now, and then at the end of the movie, when he has to decide with Zod, that was another part where people were like, yo, why, you killed probably 1,000 people during this battle. Like the battle has killed people. Like we know people are dying because you're crashing through buildings. But you gotta save this little white family that's in the corner from the laser beam eyes. You got to do it. He had to make a decision. So I feel it.
The complaints I heard about that movie were things like that. But let me go back to. I remember that moment. A lot of people who hated that movie were like, "Oh, if I was Clark, I would have went out there and did that." And my first thing is like, "Are you a parent?" And he's like, "No." Or yes, and I'm like, if your kid was Superman, and you were stuck and you knew you were done, would you have him come save you and expose himself? And they were like, probably not. And I'm like, there it is. The same part. The same part when he tells him, you know, you can't go around showing your powers. And he said, you know, should I let them die? He didn't say no. He didn't say no. His maybe was a hesitation. He said maybe because he loved the dude. He loved him, right? I'm gonna jump back. I'm gonna jump forward to the end. I'm gonna go back and forth. That part with Zod, people didn't like Zod getting killed. I really don't understand what the argument was with him having to kill Zod when Zod explained what he took from him and what he was going to do.
He wasn't ever going to stop.
I have arguments all the time about Superman doesn't kill, and my answer to that is, you ever watch Superman 2? Because Lois, not only did Superman kill, Lois was the accomplice. Bro, they knew. Yeah. He hauled Lex Luthor off the jail. He literally murdered Zod, watched Nod fall down the cliff, and what's her name? You know, Lois knocked her down, and Superman looked down the shaft and said, oh well, right? So him not being a killer was a ridiculous notion from the beginning with, but the opposition that Zod was going to be if he didn't stop him by all means necessary, and he could do it, seemed very fitting to the movie. Here's something that a lot of people did miss, that a lot of people missed. My son, who's not a comic book fan, saw the movie with me. In the movie, leaving the movie, he was like, I thought Superman was the villain. Not saying he didn't understand. He knows Superman. He's off as the villain. And Zod was kind of the hero. He was like not having any attachments to Superman and loving Christopher Reeve from the 70s, or the Donner film, or comic books, and you know all that I have, and I've tried to push on him. He was like, that dude seemed like if that was a human on another planet, what he would do. And here's another thing I saw. This dude said this in a video review. He was one of those people who didn't like it until he saw it again. Clark was a pacifist. Superman was a pacifist. And that's obvious until you say it, and it's like, oh yeah, he was. There was a lot of things in that movie that were really good, but people kind of, oh look, he's doing when he comes out of the ship. Oh look, they're fighting in a you know, like I've heard a lot. Sears is there. There's a lot of marketing, and I was like, dude, they had a Dragon Ball Z fight in the middle of Kansas, and they pulled it off. They knocked them out unconsciously. There were so many good things in that movie. Oh, he destroyed the city. Like it was his first fight ever. And I'll jump ahead, Mike. Honestly, this is what everybody missed and scared, you know, Warner into doing whatever they did after Zack Snyder. The Superman you wanted was in the last 5 minutes of Justice. Was not the Whedon one, the Snyderverse. When he hit him with the axe, and he's like, not impressed. That's the Superman people wanted, and we were gonna get there, but dudes were just like, oh, he doesn't have the underwear on the outside. Where's the curl? What do you mean he's gonna kill Zod? Like it was just that. So
yeah, it was a huge mistake. I was watching a video essay about how they changed Bruce Wayne, and like if they shouldn't have ever done that. Like they shouldn't have tried to make Bruce Wayne funny at all ever. Like why would they even do that?
Batman tells one joke every 15 years. Yeah, and it's funny because he does one joke every 15 years.
I'm not gonna lie. There's one thing I miss about the Whedon cut that I wish they put in the Snyder cut is that Cyborg didn't say booyah.
Yeah,
he said booyah at the end because that would have been a transition for him being this dude he started out to be. And Flash and all of them are kind of egging him on to join the team, and he goes booyah. First of all, it's a throwback to him saying it and all that stuff, but then it's kind of an evolution of where he is mentally with trusting people, or him saying like booyah when he played football even, and then saying it when after they, you know, about to get on the ship or whatever. Superman will always be.
Right.
It is my favorite. I think it's the best Superman they've ever done. You can fight me. I was a little kid watching that dude turn the earth backwards and looked at my mom and said, that's bullshit. And I was ready to take a pop in the mouth. So I was a little kid. I was a little kid like, this isn't real. He can't turn the earth backwards and time goes back. I was like, the earth was. I was like,
physics don't work like that.
I was like 7. So dude, when you come at me about Donner was the best movie, Superman 2, okay, I'll give you that. Just don't say it doesn't kill. But that first one,
you know, and a lot of it has Christopher Reeves is a lot of reason why people love those movies. I think that's pretty obvious or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I don't want to linger on it too long. But it does, it's cool where these discussions can take us, because Danny J. Quick and I've had tons of them. JP and I've had tons of them.
Yep.
And I never go into a discussion to change somebody's mind. I always go in it to give them a different perspective. Like, I don't think you looked at it from this angle. And as long as you can see my perspective, then I'm good. Like, because even after the talk, obviously from, today, like, he still did not like the movie. We still disagreed. But, it's one of those things that marinate or whatnot. And I think that's fun. And I like to bring that up because we have so many geek discussions and so many people just argue to argue versus actually having a discussion.
Yeah.
And I think it's important because, when you see movies as you're older, a movie came out, 2012, 2011, 20 something? Early 2013.
Avengers was 12, so it was after Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was a Dark Knight, it was Avengers, then Dark Knight, and then Man of Steel. So I'm going to say 14, 15 even.
So this is almost 5, 10, almost 10 years later, between 5 and 10 years later that I'm watching the movie again. And it was all right. So we can move on now.
And that's a win. Like, you're open to see it and you saw a difference, and that's cool. But let's get in some more up-to-date topics as we dive in here. What up, J-Man? Thank you for tuning in. Jeremy, glad to have you with us. And Legend is now watching us on Twitch. All right, man, what's up? Good to have you. All right,
since we're talking about movies, can we go straight to Suicide Squad? Is that cool? Can we do that?
Yeah, we can go straight to Suicide Squad.
Yes, we can.
That's excellent. Yeah. Spoilers. I'm telling y'all right now, spoilers.
Spoiling the hell out of this.
I'm on the show. I'm on the show, so they know. They should know by now.
I'll leave this up.
Those aren't big enough. That's not big enough.
Squad.
We're talking about the end credits. We're talking about the people inside the credits. We're talking about it.
All right, so here's my thing with Suicide Squad. Let's switch it up here. Here's my thing with Suicide Squad.
He broke up?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he broke up. Just standing with his hand folded. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
so I'm missing all of this. He's going to have to do it again.
He's going to have to do his whole rant over
again. He's going to have to do it again. This is the danger of live TV, ladies and gents. The danger of live TV. He's going to do it all again. He's frozen. That's how excited he is. That's probably a live shot. He
kicked his router over probably. That's probably what happened. Kicked his router over. And now he's frozen. So, but I don't know. I like Suicide Squad. I know he's probably gonna pop back on in a second, but I like it.
Right. No, I absolutely loved it. I actually watched. It was on like TNT the other day, and I watched it because I just finished watching it like a day ago, the day before, and it wasn't even it was no contest. I saw Harley part that I didn't like. Oh, he's back. Oh, no, he's gone. Even though I thought Harley was solid in the movie, looking at the Suicide Squad movie, it didn't hold up. She was kind of dark. Yo, listen, my man, you got to do that montage, whole thing over again.
Everything
you got to start over.
Everything from you clapping your hands got cut out.
Yeah, we thought she was that excited. You literally froze. The camera was live and you just couldn't move. But
luckily, I did not get into it very much. All right, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, luckily I didn't get to go into the rant. So look, everybody's got their opinion, man, and I respect that. But at certain points, when I see things online and it just builds up, there are a couple things that bother me. I'm human at the end of the day, and I just think if you don't like this if you are going against this Suicide Squad movie, you have every right not to like it. But from the outside looking in, from what I'm seeing on social media, from my timeline, what I see, y'all just want to see DC fail. This Suicide Squad movie is so much better than the last movie. There's so many little nuances and things that James Gunn does with all the characters to make you feel these characters, to enjoy these characters, with the comedy, the way he wrote all these characters in, all of it hit. John Cena can act. Harley Quinn has a hidden growth arc between two bad movies and this good movie. There's so many characters to like and enjoy. Flag did a damn job in this movie. The costumes were ridiculous. Like, and it took a Marvel director to come over here and put that spin on it.
Polka Dot Man.
Not to mention, this was James Gunn off the chain. Marvel is very much on the Feige manifesto. This dude got to be James Gunn, and I agree with you, man. But what did you hear? I don't know. What are the complaints? I don't know what people are saying. What are the complaints that the people are saying?
Oh, the complaints are the movie tried too hard.
What does that mean? Wait. All right. What does that mean? What's trying too hard? Why is that a bad?
Tried to be too cool. Tried to be too funny. Tried to have too much.
That was the last movie.
Yeah.
Down to the trailer with Queen doing all the music. That was the last movie. And I'm a fan of David Ayer, but I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I'll point out a specific scene for you right now. The bar scene in the first Suicide Squad movie, where they were all supposed to like have this moment of kumbaya, and they all hate, and they all unified to go do the damn thing.
Yeah.
The bar scene in this one killed it.
You know why? It's go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the way they did it was so simple. With the way the characters all act, how the characters are portrayed, they go in the bar and like, well, we got 3 hours to kill, let's get a drink.
Yeah, that's it right there. It's funny you brought that up. That's the difference between why this movie works and why it doesn't. Everything was done for a reason. You go back to that bar scene in the first movie, they have no reason to stop at a bar and drink. They have no reason to go off mission. They have no reason to rest. You go to this bar, they literally got to wait for dude to come in. They get there at 6, he gets there at 9, 10 o'clock. Can't leave. Might as well stay here. And if we're going to stay here, we might as well blend in. If we're going to blend in, let's have some drinks. Then it might be our last mission, so we might as well enjoy it. That whole movie was like that. The whole movie was like that. Everything had a reason. So when I see people talk about one critique I heard was suspend your belief, right? And you see that a lot with these popcorn. Mike, you and I go in. We talk about what a good popcorn flick is. Oh, I'll even add this. I don't know if we talked about this. I think, along with Skull Island, right?
Yeah.
We talk about Skull Island being a perfect popcorn flick where the situation is fantastic, but the stuff that happens is realistic within that fantastic world. There's nothing that I see and go, yo, son, they're playing a Fast and Furious. No offense, Mike. Fast and Furious 9, okay? I'll say Fast and Furious 9. I know you're a fan. I'll say 9, all right? But this movie did the same thing. So Starro the Conqueror was from space. You know, what are you arguing that's not possible in the realm that they're in? I didn't see anything in that movie that made me go, you know what? This is a little far-fetched for me. And because of this, I don't like what I'm seeing. Then you throw in all the other stuff with Cena doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Me giving a shit about Rick Flag. And was Harley doing a better job as what's her name doing it? Margot Robbie doing a better job at Harley than I thought possible, because I already thought she did a great job as Harley. But she was even better in this. She was better in this. Yeah. And I didn't hate a character. There wasn't one character I didn't like tremendously. And I gotta say, personally, I like this better than Guardians of the Galaxy. I loved Guardians too. I thought this was better than Guardians because DC lives in a realm that's grounded in some kind of reality. You're not getting bit by a radioactive spider. You're not doing this stuff. Even like Polka Dot Man, his mom was in Star Labs and infected him with the alien virus. Okay, Star Labs did shit like that. So
I think their reality is just wider. The reality is just wider for DC. They already had aliens coming from different planets. They already had boom tubes. Like they've already had people running back in time and stuff like that. So you should be able to believe more when you're watching a DC film because they've already introduced all of these rules that, I just think that DC is being punished because of this Justice League. I mean, the last legit movie that came out was the Snyder Cut. So people are expecting, more serious. I mean, the people who watch DC movies are probably just expecting more serious, brooding heroes, especially, with a title like Suicide Squad. I don't get it though. Like, I'm like, bruh, if you know what Suicide Squad is, it's a group of misfits coming together and somebody gonna die. These just gonna die. And it's gonna be funny to watch, and we're gonna get to see Amanda Waller and her badness, and just enjoy it. Like I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, man. I just want to. So we'll point out some stuff so we can kind of stay on track. And JP already brought this up. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is an absolute win for me in everything. She shines even when the movie is trash. And whoever wrote this script or wrote this, put this together, which is probably James Gunn or whatnot. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But she has a growth arc.
Yeah.
In all three of these movies. And it's super blatantly obvious that she is learning from her previous self.
Yeah.
In the first Suicide Squad movie, she is absolutely dependent on the Joker.
Yeah.
Stuck in his world. And I still stand by that line the Joker says, though, is one of my favorite lines. Of course you can die for me, but will you live for me? I still think that's a dope-ass line, even though he's not the best Joker. But
he was okay.
But that shows how committed Harley was to Joker, how lost she was in him. Then in the second one, she breaks up with him. She has to find herself. She has to figure out who she is without the Joker, and she comes out stronger for it. And then in Suicide Squad, she steals the show, man.
When she shot that dude and explained,
no hesitation.
You're prettier on the floor bloody than you are alive, because what she would do alive, I was sitting there like, bravo. Who wrote this?
She said, what did she say? She was like, I promised myself if I saw a red flag.
I
was like, okay, all right, Harley, I see you.
And my guys don't just walk away and be mad. They come back and they do things. And and you are prettier dead on the floor than you'd be if and I was like, yep. That's exactly what she should have said. And I was surprised they actually did it. Even though I wasn't surprised at the tone that they took. They got to have those moments. Go back and watch Suicide Squad, the first one. She's dark as shit. I watched it the other day. I was like, you know what? Let me see. I got Into the City when Will Smith was doing this on top of the cars.
Yeah, which is a great scene, which is a great scene.
I couldn't watch it anymore. I was just like, I couldn't do it.
I got a question for y'all then, because I never saw Birds of Prey. I'm not a big Margot Robbie fan. I remember she was in Z for Zachariah. That was one thing I liked her in, but other than that, I
go watch Tanya. She's dope in that. She's dope in that.
Birds of Prey is underrated, man.
Yeah, she's dope.
Check it out.
Yeah, but see, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn is dark in all these movies. She's dark in this one because when she says, damn, what did she say? It's just like how she was so happy about the dude, then she killed him. But then she says, and it's like a subtle thing. I will compare it to Christopher Reeve taking his glasses off and becoming Superman. Because how she says it, you're like, oh shit, she's still crazy.
Yeah.
She says you're prettier with all those thoughts.
You're pretty, Making out on the
They still established, hey, she's grown. She's out of an abusive relationship. She's not taking no shit no more. Oh, but she's still crazy. Please remember, she's still crazy.
My favorite line was when she was like, "Oh, y'all came to save me," and it was in the trailer. Like it was, I think part of it was in the trailer, and she was like, "I can go back in, and you can still do it." Man, I was like, "Yo, this is
my favorite line is, you know who that is? It's your mom." That was the point. His mom's tearing the building up. That was you know who that is.
Jeremy says, for me, Suicide Squad 2 subverted expectations too frequently with the killing so many characters too quickly. So it was like, why introduce them in the first place? Why introduce them? Those characters suck.
That was the point. That was the point, right?
That was the point.
That was the point.
You can't have a movie called, in my opinion, Jeremy, you can't have a movie called Suicide Squad and not have people kill them.
But they told us last year. They said don't get too attached to these characters because we knew that a lot of them. We didn't know which ones the movie was going to be about because they had Nathan Fillion in there. They had all these characters, and for them to kill most of them within the first 30 minutes, like kill half of the cast within 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, okay, I like it. I'm enjoying it.
And it was perfect. Amanda Waller. She is perfect.
It was the first 20 minutes of the movie established a lot. I think the problem that a lot of people have in movies, even stuff I disagree with. I didn't like He-Man, but I didn't agree with why people didn't like He-Man, right? We can talk about that too. But people go in there with expectations that I can't say aren't realistic, but when they don't happen, it's as bad as it being bad, and it's not. I have a lot of people I talk to, Mike. We've had this conversation, and I'm like, your way might be just as good, but does that mean that what you saw was good? And you're usually like, yeah, it is. The thing about this movie that was so good is that it got to do what they set out to do. The whole movie was the mission, and the first 10, 20 minutes was the exposition. Savant got up. She said, da-da-da-da, time off your sentence, da-da-da-da, the famous Suicide Squad. We don't like being called that. Task Force X, so on and so forth, da-da-da-da, this is that. Dudes go out there, dude drowns, or so we thought. Savant tries to run. She blows his head up. Her team is betting on who's going to die, who's going to win. And then we find out that was the B team. Team A is on the other side of the island, coming on the shore, and then not to mention Flag and Harley were part of Team A. They didn't die.
And that's one of those things. That's one of those things where Amanda Waller had faith in Harley and Flag.
Yeah.
She actually likes Flag, and she's like,
no, dude, she's a fan of Flag. Yeah.
He was like, if anybody can get him through, chance. Like Amanda Waller's so dangerous because she'll do what needs to be done for the mission.
Yeah, and she even said, "You have no idea what I'll do for my country."
Exactly.
I like that they set up Peacemaker and Bloodsport early in the movie. But it was the way that they introduced the rivalry was so funny because he was like, all of these people have a special set of skills. None of them are like the other. And then she introduced Peacemaker with literally the same lines. I'm like, bro, it's hilarious.
And they literally set up the competition in one line.
Right.
He said, well, that's what I do. And he says that I do it better. And you knew right there that was going to be an argument. You knew.
Jeremy,
what was the magic of that movie? That whole movie was just kind of punchline execution. The whole movie. I hope you
stick around, Jeremy. We're going to talk about Masters of the Universe, and I'll tell you exactly why that's my problem with the show. And just hear me out. So real quick, so we can get through this. I love Peacemaker. I thought Peacemaker was great, and that's especially after saying John Cena can't act after seeing Fast 9. Now, in my opinion, while I did enjoy Peacemaker and John Cena did his damn job, hats off to him because he did a good-ass job.
He did.
I don't think he should get the spinoff. I think Idris Elba should get the spinoff. Who do y'all think should get the spinoff? Real quick, just fire it out. Bow, 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 bow.
I'm gonna wait and see what that's like. You may get an Idris Elba spinoff.
We may get one, but no, who do you think should get one?
Peacemaker.
Out of that cast, Peacemaker.
Yeah,
you think so?
Because we don't like him. Are you gonna watch? I'm gonna watch. I literally spoiled it for people I was watching. Going, he's not gonna die. He's getting a spinoff. They didn't know, and I was like, ooh, like when he shot him, I was like, oh, how they pull that off? And then they showed at the end credit, but yeah, no, Peacemaker. I wasn't interested in the show until I saw his position. And then I was like, oh, this show's going to be interesting because we're going in not liking him, especially the fact that they killed Rick Flag. They killed him. Like, there's no he's going to live. They showed the shrapnel going through his heart and pierce his heart.
Yeah.
He did that purposely to show you he's not coming back. Yeah. I'm surprised he even got to say the little one-liner before he keeled over. So I'm already not a fan of Peacemaker, and yet he's alive. And then they put Amanda put her people on him as payback for hitting her in the head with the golf club. I want to see that. I do.
So, Dan, you feel like it should be Idris?
Yeah, no, I'm down with Bloodsport because he's already got the supporting cast. Like he built the relationship, so he's got the interaction with him and his daughter in the jail scene was hilarious to me. Like that was it. And then he's got a little arc with Ratcatcher 2. So he's already got a supporting cast built in from this movie. But I'll watch Peacemaker, I'll watch Harley, I'll watch an Amanda Waller. I'll watch an Amanda Waller series, any of that.
I want to see an Amanda Waller like crime drama, like something that's just like, not even like I was talking to Vic about this today. We were talking about Scorsese joining the Marvel Universe, and because of what we're gonna get into. But like, could you imagine Scorsese doing an Amanda Waller movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would absolutely love to see Amanda Waller's climb to where she's at right now.
Yeah.
Like
And-
2 or 3 seasons. It ends right before the first Suicide Squad movie, like where she walks into that restaurant and sits down, and that's the series finale.
I'll say this though.
Well,
I don't know if I'd want to see Bloodsport, because Bloodsport is too on the nose for me.
mhm.
I don't know if you made a Bloodsport. I gotta ask, if you made a Bloodsport show, where you going with it? Like, there is resolution in the movie. Not to say you couldn't bring up stuff. He's interesting. He's dope. It's Idris Elba. I hear you. You know, like, it's all there. But there's nothing not to like about the dude. You know what I'm saying? I like him, so I want him to win. What stories are they going to tell? They could put him up against Batman. So you tell him I'm not rooting for Batman now. You know, like, it's kind of that argument. It's the Rock. You guys are gamers. The Rocksteady game coming out, right? The one that Rocksteady's doing, where they got to take down the Justice League, right? Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. That's interesting. That's far more interesting than the Justice League kills the Suicide Squad. That's what I think Bloodsport's on the nose with. Bloodsport's too on the nose. The other way around, where you're the dudes, that's not Bloodsport. That's Deadshot. I was gonna say that was Bloodsport, but it's Deadshot. But the Justice League having to fight Superman, nah, that's a game I want to play, because that seems impossible. And that's where John Cena's story comes in. I don't like him. I didn't want him to live. You killed Rick Flag, you bastard. Okay, what's this gonna be about? You know, I will watch that. I think they have far more places to go, and John Cena's gonna pull it off. I didn't say that before this movie.
I feel like he is, but that's a good segue. John Cena cannot act. In Fast 9, it is fucking terrible. It is atrocious. There's nothing believable about it. I don't believe, not for an instant, that this man can drive, that this man is a double agent, that he is
can't drive. You think anyone can drive, son?
No, he can't drive.
He can't even fit in the car. How you gonna drive?
Yeah, he's not driving the same way that Dominic Toretto is driving in Fast and Furious. I refuse to believe any of that. But in Suicide Squad, I believe in Peacemaker. when he pulled that gun on Flag and said, "It's a tragedy what happened, but I'm here to make sure that does not get out. Even if I have to kill a hero like you, sir, please give me that hard job." I believed every word that John Cena said. I believed all of it. He did not want to fight Flag. He did not want to kill Flag. He respected Flag. But he's more committed to the country of America than he is to his idolization of Flag. Yep. And when he killed them, when he did it, dude, it was instantaneous regret. Instant. He pulled that off, man. He was like trying to fight for his life, put that shrapnel in him. He saw him die. And when he said, "A Peacemaker, what a joke," that shit crushed him. It did. Like, I saw all of that, and then
immediately Ratcatcher 2 pops up, and it's like, bro,
right back on mission.
Like,
back on mission.
Dang, bro.
I can't waste what I just did. I killed the man I respected, so I have to get that.
Yeah,
solid.
So
I like John Cena in a couple of things, though, man. I'm not gonna say he's the greatest actor, but he was in Daddy's Home 2. He was good in that. He was good in he was both the Daddy's Home movies. If y'all haven't seen those movies, I've seen
them both.
100% hilarious.
He's a funny guy. I'm not knocking his previous comedic movie roles.
Bumblebee, he was good in Bumblebee.
I'm knocking Fast.
Bumblebee was good. I think the script. No. I'm not. Hold on. That came out wrong. I'm not saying Bumblebee was good and therefore he was shit, or he was good because the movie was good. He was John Cena as a person. I could see John Cena being. Mm-hmm. And I could see John Cena being this dude too, but he wasn't the heart. John Cena was. They all had moments where they were the heart of the moment. John Cena had a couple of those.
Okay, I got you. I like that.
That's the magic of this Jeremy dude. I hope Disney.
Jeremy need to take a nap. I don't know. He up too late. Jeremy need to take a nap.
I like how you said that, JP. That's really good. So that's a good segue over. That's a good segue over to Flag, because Flag was the heart of every scene that he was in when he needed to be. And I also want to, and I've got to shout out James Gunn as a director, because he gave me 3 scenes that when Flag died, I cared, I was
Yep.
sad, and
Yep.
it made me believe that him and Harley Quinn had a really good friendship.
Yeah.
3 scenes,
Yeah.
and I believed it. How
Dude,
she
they killed Captain Boomerang in the beginning.
yeah,
That
how
was
she came into
huge.
the plane.
That was huge.
When they're walking in the rain and she eats that apple, and
Yeah.
on the roof when she's walking back and forth, and God, Harley Quinn is so funny. But those 3 scenes, and when Flag dies and you see Harley, I believe that they were really good friends.
You know, they did that in the first Suicide Squad too.
It's not as believable for me.
It's not. Like I said, I watched it the other day, and I'm like, yeah, I watched that whole thing, and my whole thing was like, ew.
I heard somebody say, that was one of the complaints though, that the movies were pretty much the same. It was pretty much the same movie, just better. Like,
yeah, so yeah. No. Suicide Squad never deviates off of me. Yeah, that's not. Listen, if you were expecting, again, that's expectation. If you expected to see a Star Wars movie not have a Jedi in it, you're not. You're picking the wrong movies. It's called a Suicide Squad. It's a reboot. I'm not mad at that. But my answer is, what did you expect? You expected them to join Batman? Like, you go watch the animated Assault on Arkham. That was the same thing too. It's just,
and I love Starro. I love them having Starro in it. Like, that was dope to me.
Yeah,
Starro, the bad guy, was, that was great. He was talking about Superman, and nah.
We're not giving enough praise to Ratcatcher 2, to King Shark. King Shark was amazing.
I liked Ratcatcher 2. I didn't care about any of these characters except maybe Bloodsport and John Cena's character and Harley. No, I'll say Bloodsport and Harley. I didn't care. I remember when they first showed the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, Boomerang is gonna be this dude again, Jai Courtney. All right. But when he died, I was like, damn, that was 3 minutes, and he wasn't even the dude who deserved to die. Like, Morgana should have died, the TK, the what's his face who disconnects
the detachable kid.
The detachable kid should have died.
Oh my goodness!
Javelin should have died.
I thought that dude was really about to do something, and then when he started,
Savant should have died. But Captain Boomerang was doing his job.
He was
throwing mad grunts. He got hit with shrapnel, and he knew he just couldn't go anywhere. The helicopter, the fire took him. I was like, yo, that intro was to show Gunn. There's Gunn showing the audience this is not gonna be your run of the mill. This isn't the Suicide Squad from before. This isn't gonna be, pardon my French, Shazam.
Jay, man, right on time. This is why you're part of the FSK family. This is why you're one of the agents of the nerdy. Right on time, because that was our last segment on this subject, the costumes. That Bloodsport costume was dope. And
yep.
I did not know. I mean, I found out, like, in after credits or whatever, that his helmet was designed off of the Alien head.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
And if I don't see somebody cosplaying as Polka Dot Man, as Bloodsport, as this new Harley Quinn costume, you cosplayers, you have failed. You have completely failed if I don't see any of those costumes out there. That Bloodsport costume was so dope.
Yo, am I bugging? They had Bloodsport in Fortnite. Is this right?
What?
I just happened to Google Bloodsport, and the first thing that pop up is the Bloodsport costume in Fortnite.
Bloodsport coming.
He's coming.
Bloodsport coming to Fortnite.
Yep. There's your segue.
That's easy enough, but Bloodsport's coming to Fortnite. Jeez.
There it is.
There it is.
These dudes got everything, bro.
We are going to be talking about Fortnite.
Here's your segue. Here's your segue. Seriously.
That's a great segue. So we'll go right to Fortnite. Now, I hate Fortnite.
Good night, everybody.
This won't be a long discussion. I hate Fortnite. I think the game is stupid. I think the idea of it is dumb. But with my bias aside, I can respect a good business model. Fortnite has done something that I've wanted tons of games to do, which is the first thing they've done that started getting me itching about it, was they did these big galactic type events. that affected their map and changed things, and they would be season finales. These huge, massive end of season battles that required all the players to log in and participate and fight for their land or their world or whatnot. And it would be the season finale, and the game would be shut down for a couple days, and then it comes back as a brand new game and it'd be a new season. I had to have respect for that. That's dope. That's crazy good gameplay. Then the next thing I noticed that these games did, they started doing in-game concerts. Yeah. Performances with big-ass stars. Ariana Grande is the one next up doing it. I forget the one dude's name. He's dating one of the Kardashians. You know, I'm old. I don't keep up with that jazzy music now. But Sky TJ, somebody, he makes a lot of money. He does a lot of music or whatever. But I watched the video. I watched the YouTube video. This was a whole full-blown concert where all the kids and gamers logged in and watched it.
Nice.
It was a full-on experience. But it wasn't just like the artist on the stage performing. I mean, the dude got super large, was stomping through the map, all this crazy stuff while performing new music live in Fortnite.
Hey, that's a captive audience right there, bro. Like that's a performer's dream. Imagine them saying, "Yo, Agents of Nerdy,
Travis Scott,
we're gonna put y'all on Fortnite. We're gonna put Agents of Nerdy on Fortnite.
Kardashian now?
Y'all got an hour to do whatever you want to. We'll build your characters in the game, and you can do whatever you want to, bro. That's a captive audience. How many people be on that game? Millions of people's on Fortnite, bro. It's wild, man. It's wild."
Yeah. Then, I mean, they were already making noise with their skins. I mean, that's why I don't like the game, because you have to buy all the skins to really, really enjoy it or not.
But the skins don't make you any better though. Like that's my thing. The skin, it's just a status thing. It's like I spent this money to get this skin because it was popular, and it doesn't make me any better at the game, like at all.
You're absolutely right.
So when I went in for my little week that I was playing the game, I was like, yo, I'm doing pretty good because like my weapons are terrible, but everybody else's weapons are terrible too. Like they get to pick the same weapons that they run on the island and pick the same. I'm like, bruh, I can get into the game easily. It's got a good entry point, and I don't have to pay anything. So,
yeah, it is free to play, so that is how they make their money. It's just the costumes are expensive, the dancing is expensive. So part of the thing that irritated me is that they took a lot of dances from TV shows, from actors, from comedians, from other YouTubers and stuff, or TikTokers.
They definitely.
Did you see Free Guy? Did you guys see Free Guy?
No, not yet.
I heard. I won't tell you. Okay, I won't tell you what I know. It's not spoilery, but I'll just say this: they go after Fortnite. Something terrible in that. I heard. I heard they go after.
It was out yet.
Yeah, and those items are super expensive. And so people tried to sue them, but you can't, as far as I know from the last article that I read, you can't copyright a dance. So they just took all these dances, and these kids are spending so much money on these dances. My nephews are always just like invested in Fortnite. I'm just like, man, if y'all don't play, there are other games. Y'all don't play something else. But
they know their audience too. That's that's the good business model. I am not their audience. They're not. I got a lot of younger friends who are like, play Fortnite. And I'm like, don't ever talk to me again. I don't think we could be friends anymore. I'm not knocking anybody who's playing it. I'm just saying it's just not for me. But there is an audience that it captures. There are people that are having fun. At the end of the day, I can say nothing bad about that.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even though I don't like the game, I still like looking at their model, looking at how they're making money, looking at what they're doing now. Or what they've been gradually building up to doing, like I have to respect the hell out of that. Because now the Marvel skins, not only were they just bringing in Marvel skins, but then they connected it to the Marvel comic books. So Fortnite is a dimension in Marvel comics. They had a whole comic book
DC too. They did the Snake Eyes Batman. Yeah.
This is the only game. Yeah. This is the only game in the world that has Marvel and DC characters in the same world.
Wow.
LeBron James is getting a skin that just dropped.
Mike Lowry.
And then as we saw today, Bad Boys, Mike Lowry, is getting a skin in Fortnite.
Why wasn't it Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Why wasn't it Carlton? Why did Carlton got a dance?
Forget it.
Why wasn't it Carlton?
Carlton ain't got no guns.
Yeah, but Carlton got the
not
dance.
Carlton.
Carlton does the dance.
It's
It was
not
supposed to be the dance
Carlton because
together.
he's mad that they took his dance. He's one of the
He
people
is
that
mad.
sue him.
Yeah.
They
he
took
was.
his dance too.
They took his
They
dance.
took his. They took his.
Bruh, they
He was the first. He was
savages.
one of the first dudes to sue, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he was the first
right.
dude I saw that was mad. I mean, sorry, tap dance kid. They should have put you in the game.
Savages.
Yeah, I mean, I just, when you look at that and look at the longevity of the game, how long it's lasted, the way that they have affected culture, the video game community, the culture, keeping it going. People are still buying skins and all that stuff. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's the business model I want. I want people to buy FSK books. I want them buying toys and skins. And
When you said that,
I can put my bias and hate aside. Let's make these hot shot skins, baby. I got
yo, go send in your proposal, man. You get a skin in there. I'll tell you what, my man. You get one of your characters in Fortnite, I'll play. How about that? I'll play. I'm gonna hate every minute of it. I'm gonna be really cross with you, but you know what? I'll play.
Hey, not if Hotshot in there shooting people, bro. If Hotshot ain't got no powers in the game, I ain't playing it. I'm not doing it.
Hotshot's gonna have a gun. Hotshot's gonna have a gun. Superman has a gun.
What if he just
Superman
does it with his fingers? Pew, pew, pew.
Superman is gatting you in Fortnite. He has gats. He doesn't fly you with the red, the eye beams. He has guns. So, yeah.
I think the Predator's in it too. Aliens. Ripley's in it.
Now, are these characters doing what they do in the game?
Some of them do have signature moves to their characters.
Okay. I mean, like the aliens should be running around trying to, murder dudes.
Exactly.
Like I said, man, for the most part, it's just the skins though. Like it's just you look like the character and you run around and do the same thing that everybody else does. So it doesn't cost. It literally doesn't cost the company anything. You just choosing a costume to put on your character and playing the game. The gameplay is not affected. So it's not like Smash Brothers where when you play as a new character, you're a whole new character. You can build and create a whole character with a move set. It ain't like that.
All right, so I just had to shout that out, man. They're changing the frontier, the landscape of gaming, and they're holding strong. So we got that. So I'm gonna jump over here. So Jeremy, this He-Man situation, and this is my problem with it. Number one, my disclaimer: I actually like the cartoon, the new He-Man. I did like it. Here's my problem with it. And you can agree or disagree with me. Your comment was John Paul said he called it He-Man, and then your comment was it's called Masters of the Universe. It is called Masters of the Universe, and my problem with it is every trailer did not promote it as Masters of the Universe. It promoted it as a He-Man cartoon, and this cartoon is directed at my age group. And it's specifically directed at my age group because none of the designs are different. None of the designs have changed. And they said it specifically picks up after the last episode of that He-Man series. That show is directed for us. It is meant for us.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Hey,
a lot.
JP, you're more than welcome to disagree with me.
That's a lot. That was a lot.
The show there would be no issues. There would be no issues if it was promoted as a Masters of the Universe show, because I like all the rest of those characters. I don't dislike Teela. I love watching the show. It was good. But like if you promote it as one thing and then it comes on and showcases something else, people are going to get pissed. Now, yes, did some people get carried away? Yes, they did. They
absolutely did.
They absolutely did.
They absolutely did.
Because after the first episode and I saw where it was going, I was like, all right, cool. Well, let's see where it goes. But you promoted the show differently. You could have promoted that show as a Master of the Universe show and cast it as He-Man Falls. It's up to the rest of the characters to save Eternia. And I'd have still rolled with you. I'd have still been there. And you know we want a He-Man cartoon because that's what we've been asking for. Now, the new cartoon is directed to the new audience. It's directed to new kids. It's fresh. It's completely different. I'm actually willing to watch that and give that a chance because it's being promoted properly. That's just my say on it. Go ahead, JP.
All right. I think the one thing they got right was they killed He-Man and Skeletor. There, I said it. That was the one thing that kept me interested in the show. I didn't care that they talked about He-Man and promoted He-Man, and then He-Man died at the end of the first episode. The problem I have with the show, we talked about this, the instances of just bad storytelling. As creators, I take offense to, as you guys do, because I pride myself on trying to tell a good story. So if you want to kill He-Man off, that's fine. If you want to make Teela the star, that's fine. Because Teela seemed like the way the show was set up, she was next in line anyway, right?
Yeah.
He was going to retire, or he's doing this for a long time. She was in line to being the new Man at Arms. I thought that was fine. The problem I had with the show, one of two things. And remember, when we get into what if, I'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. My example of that. You know what I'm going to say because I said it to you. Number one, the acting was terrible. It was just over the top drivel. Number two was there were instances in the show that didn't make sense story-wise. Here's a good one. When they were going to the land of, spoilers for those who don't know. When they went to the land of the dead, remember this? Merman attacked the ship from underneath. They didn't even know they were getting hit, so they put the bombs on, exploded the ship, right? Remember that, guys? And they brought Merman on top of the boat, beat up his goons, and told them, take us to the land of the dead, or we'll leave you out in the sun to dry. Ooh, okay. So, dude clearly surrenders, and he takes the water, and he has the water guide them. The water basically sends waves and guides them to the land of the dead. And I sat there and said, that's the problem with this show. We just talked about how good Suicide Squad was, because Suicide Squad set up what it needed to do before it just did it, where the first one was just, let's go to a bar, let's go hang out. Yeah, we just killed these dudes, but we got to go drink because that's what we do. But this one was like, we're drinking for a reason. If Merman could use waves in the water to literally shun them to the land of the dead, why didn't he just capsize the boat? Why I'm sorry, I don't mean to be that dude, but that's like 6-year-old Jean Paul speaking to you right now. Like, I would have saw that if I was 8. And it was that whole show was like that. There were things they did right. Adam going to, the Valhalla, the Eternia of Valhalla, and deciding to be Adam, I thought was dope. I thought King Grayskull and all the other guys being the champions was dope. I like how they called them Wee Man, and he had to keep up because He-Man is not Adam. Adam is He-Man. That was the point, and that came through. But they told him he couldn't go back, and he shouldn't because that's not the proper way of things. And the price was you can't go back to Valhalla. And it was like, well, so what? Why didn't you have him fight Grayskull and have him beat Grayskull in a way that isn't overpowering or something that He-Man would do in a way, which would show the potential of Adam? Because I grew up on a cartoon when I was little. Adam didn't do anything. Adam was that dude who fell over stuff. He was like Snarf, from the Thundercats. He was literally a Snarf character that turned into Lion-O, except it was He-Man turning into dude that Adam turned into. And I think this show just missed the opportunity. I wasn't a fan of the art, but I come from anime background, so there's my argument there. And you guys finish, because my answer to that is what we're going to talk about, the Marvel stuff. And Mike, you know what I'm going to say. So I'm done.
What say you, Danny J. Quick?
I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a He-Man fan. I'm 35, so I feel like I was just at the age to miss He-Man. If it was Ninja Turtles, like I've complained about Ninja Turtles ever since they started doing live action stuff. That was my thing. But I feel like I would enjoy this Masters of the Universe show because I literally know nothing about He-Man besides he has the sword and screams, "I have the power." I know nothing about it. So I feel like I would probably enjoy it because my kids liked it. They watched it, and they they seem to like it, and they know nothing about He-Man. So I do plan on watching it, just to fulfill the quota of my queue. It's in my queue, so I gotta watch it.
It's in my queue. I gotta watch it.
But that's all for me, man.
I mean, even though
you said you commented on the voice acting, the voice acting didn't bother me that much. I really did love Evil Lynn's voice actress. It was my girl.
Oh no, she was dope. She was fun.
Yeah, I love
Mark Hamill. I'm not gonna lie. I did. He just came off too much as Joker to me. I wanted evil Skeletor from the 80s. That dude he should have aped that voice. We've heard Mark Hamill do other voices besides the Joker. So I was kind of like, why is he doing Why is he doing the Joker voice? You know what I'm saying? Like he even says things as Mark Hamill, and he kind of sounds like the Joker. There's a little Mark Hamill in the Joker, you know. So, but they were characters who were fun. Evelyn was fun. That was a C. But what's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar playing Tila. When she was, oh, how come you won't lie to me and I don't want to be friends anymore? I'm like, dude, they just gave you the mantle. Like, yo, son, take that crown from her.
That's the part I didn't like. That's the part that was confusing.
I gotta tell you, the Kickstarter book, the woman you drew is the main protagonist. I'm not like, that's what I didn't like about the comments. Like, oh, it's a woman, it shouldn't have been. You guys need to calm down.
Yeah, they need to stop. People need to stop complaining about that.
Good is good. Yeah, who cares? If Tila was the next in line, that sounds exactly the line it should go.
But you're right. That's how it should be. Tila should have been the next in line, which I was fine with. I feel like that first episode ruined Tila because I get it. You're upset that they lied to you about being He-Man, but you just saw her. His dad didn't know. They just lost their son.
But you know what? I'll even say this. That's a child's perspective. Like, dude, I wouldn't put you in charge if you got mad over that. I would take it back. He's not supposed to. You're not supposed to know because of you're thinking 5 minutes in front of my face. You put people in danger who necessarily wouldn't be put in danger. You add an advantage to the enemy. There's all kind of stuff you don't do that for. And when somebody's like, boo-hoo, it's not fair, I'm like, you can't be in charge. That's just bad writing. I actually like the idea that He-Man bit it. I like the fact that in Eternia, the magic was going and Tila had to step up. I even kind of like the fact that they didn't tell her. That was a strong arc to kind of build on. It was how they executed it. She comes off
like you like the show. Sounds like you did like the show.
I didn't like the show. I hated the show.
Sounds like you did.
I didn't. I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I like about it. Here's what I like. It's the same thing that I like about a lot of stuff that I see. I like the potential in it. I like you give me the plot points and I'm like, make this happen. You know, you're like, oh, listen, Jean-Paul, we're going to do this show about He-Man, and He-Man and Skeletor are going to die. He's going to do something, and Teal's going to step up and rebuild the magic and try to find He-Man. And I'm like, I'm in. But if you make her whiny and she's, how dare you? Adam was my best friend. And they're talking like they talk in 2021. This is Victorian English speaking Eternia. They don't say things we say in the United States in 2021. That's my argument about ... We'll get to that. But the show is full of that. And it was like, okay, so you're trying to cater to what's going on right now stylistically instead of trying to make something of quality. If it's quality and you speak Shakespearean English, if it's good enough, people will understand. If they don't, they'll learn to understand because they'll look into how they're speaking. That's where I was. So, Danny, you're right. I listen, I was on bated breath, and I wasn't a fan of the animation when I first saw it. But I said, you know what? Maybe you're being a little too hard. How about that?
That's Kevin Smith for you, though.
Yeah,
that's how Kevin Smith writes.
I mean, is it, dude? Dogma, dude. My favorite Kevin Smith movie was Dogma. I don't know what that dude took, but there were so many Evangelion tropes in that movie that that's the dude I wanted to write He-Man. The dude who wrote Dogma. You know, where, you know, the Lord opens his mouth and you can't hear, your head explodes because you can't hear the word's voice is that majestic. I'm like, okay, I picked that dude to do a story about a magical land where dude says, I have the power and turns into He-Man. And I got whiny Tila, and like you said, Danny, I'm rooting for Tila. I was watching the credits like, oh, here we go. I didn't want to not like it.
Yeah.
And I did.
That scene makes you not like her because she really has a full-blown tantrum.
She does.
She has no consideration to this
She's
mom.
mad for the rest of the show.
That father who just
that part where she fought her inner demons, I kind of went, okay, maybe we're gonna get somewhere. Oh, it was He-Man. Oh, the biggest, strongest, the powers in you, and you should have reconciled. Like, first of all, it's pandering to women. It's just, I'm gonna say it. Wonder Woman Part 2. Wonder Woman. You know, Mike, Danny. I'm not a big fan of. I thought it just pandered to women. And 84, you got to be kidding me. But it didn't show strength through trial and error. It didn't show strength through failure. It showed strength for the sake of strength, like Captain Marvel did. It was just, oh, look, I'm strong. Look how dope I am. You can't beat me. You can't beat me because I'm a woman. It's like, that's not how it works. That's not Okoye. That's not other characters, Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell. That's not anybody. You take other things that have female characters that are the major characters in it They usually knock it out the park. Tila was easy. It was a straight slow ball over the plate. They should have knocked it out, and it just came across as very. I don't want to even say on the nose. It was just, man, what are we doing here?
Right.
So,
So we got a couple more things to talk about. Have you gentlemen watched the Star Wars anime trailer?
Bruh.
we starting on Monday? Okay, Disney Monday. Listen, Disney had a week. They had a hell of a week. Every day they release something new, including that Shane Tree clip a couple hours before this. That Star Wars
super
thing,
fire.
that was the best thing they did this week. That made me want to write a Star Wars story about Jedi. I think that's going to be better than Animatrix. That looks phenomenal. That looks phenomenal. I can't wait for that to come out. Disney is knocking it out the park every time. They're pointing that back at the big green wall and they're knocking it over the green wall. Dude. There you go. That's my 2 cents.
They see all us out here watching My Hero Academia. They see the numbers from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
They see the numbers from One Piece. They see these numbers. They know that Americans love anime, and anime is made for it's crossover, man. It's just crossover. Taco Bell is doing dang on anime commercials. Like it's crossover, man. These folk out here, they trying to make that money, and looking at it, bro. Like just the trailer. Like I'm like, bro, anime. Like Star Wars was made for anime. Like
yeah.
When old dude pulled that lightsaber out at the camera perspective, I've never seen anything like that in Star Wars. That looks so clean.
The chick with the multiple arms with the light. I was like, what? I'm absolutely watching that.
Oh, girl was riding the scooter over the ice. She jumped
Over
on
the
ice.
Her feet sliding
and she's sliding. Yeah.
I know. I mean, I love all that stuff. I mean, the power up. I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch.
I can't even tell you which one I'm going to like the most. Like they all look equally good. And again, it's just. I wrote on Facebook the other day, today, the intro for Knights of the Old Republic with the Jedi fighting the Sith. I'm like, if Star Wars Land did that, I'd pay $6,000 for it. That's $6,000, Mike. We talked about that the other day. With that $6,000, and I'm not trying to. If you can recreate one of those trailers, and I'm in that. I'll give you $6,000. I give you $6,000 I don't have. I give you $6,000 I don't have.
$6,000 you don't have?
My kids are going in the hawk. I'm just like, sorry, babies. I had to do this.
I'm taking out long.
But
you know, a lot of people mad at
Disney. So
I know a lot of people mad at Disney and think Disney the devil. They own a monopoly.
I don't think they're the devil. But
I'm really like, I don't care. Look at all this entertainment I'm getting from Disney.
They're and we were talking earlier. You make the argument. Somebody, people think it's Marvel. Nope, it's not. It's Disney. It's not Marvel. It's not Star Wars. It's Disney making these decisions, deciding to do these chances. If it was Marvel and if it was Disney before, they would have done it before they took over. This week, the week was just hit after hit after hit after hit.
I don't know if I agree with you on that.
Oh, okay. What do you got?
I've always protested that when Disney bought Marvel, they bought it because it wasn't broke, because they proved that they knew what they were doing. I think Disney does, they back Marvel. I think they do have input and they do say certain things.
I agree.
I believe that MCU is at a point to where Disney is very comfortable being hands off when they need to be. I think a lot of that stuff is done with the MCU home office, but I'm not oblivious to think that Disney doesn't say anything. But
I'll make the argument that they expanded on the Marvel has. Dude, there's decades of there's tons of stuff that they tap into, and
they trying to get Star Wars there, man. Like, I was surprised. I was watching Jurassic Park the other day, right? I was watching Jurassic Park, the original one with the kids, and then on the Netflix they had the movies that made us. Y'all seen that series? Yeah. So I was surprised Kathleen Kennedy was one of the producers on Jurassic
Kathleen
Park.
Kennedy goes back to what Raiders?
She been killing it.
She was a dancer. She's one of the dancers in Temple of Doom.
She's
That was
been
her
killing
first
it a
gig.
long
She was
time.
some kind of intern, and she got the dancing gig in that and became a producer. She's been with Lucas and Spielberg for damn near 30 years.
Yeah.
She has
They
a
were
lot
talking
of
about-
executive credits.
They were talking about how they were, you know, because the 3D dinosaurs was experiment, like it was an experiment. The dude set up the screen. He was like, "Look, I'm gonna make this dinosaur, and then I'm just gonna show it to them. I'm just gonna have it playing on the screen in the background when they come to look at something else." He said Kathleen Kennedy, dang on Steven Spielberg came in the office, looked at, just happened to walk by, did a double take, looked at it, and was like, "What is this?" Like, he said, "I see this 3D dinosaur. What is this?" He was like, "Oh, that's just something we're working on." She said, "Hey, don't worry about nothing for the rest of your life. We got you." I was like, "Dang, you got that much power and during the Jurassic Park time, bro? You killing it."
That's why I've always said, like, when people hate on Kathleen Kennedy and, you know, they try to blame her for the mistakes of Star Wars, but they praise other people for the wins of Star Wars. I'm like, y'all can't do that to that woman.
Yeah.
She's responsible for everything Star Wars.
Yeah.
She's the head of it. So the good choices and the bad choices
We've
are
had-
all a part of her.
We had that discussion, dude.
I know, and I still stand by it, JP.
I think. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not hating on Kennedy. I like Kathleen Kennedy. I say the reason why Star Wars got bad is because Disney understood the power of the franchise and was squeamish about what they were going to do with it. They were too worried about who they were going to offend. Ended up offending everybody. You know, you and I stand on The Last Jedi. Fight me on that. We'll have that discussion until the day's over. I'm trying to convince you at the end of the day. That's how it came down. But
they ain't offended me yet. I wasn't a Star Wars fan until these new recent ones. So they ain't offended me yet. I'm happy.
Okay. You know, but I don't knock her. People, oh, she got to be fired. Yeah, good luck with that. Lucas gave Lucasfilm to her, and she talked to Disney. She could have took it and just did whatever she wanted to do with it. Lucas gave it to Kathleen Kennedy. People don't realize that or don't want to have that discussion. But her, like you said, her list of getting it right. You know, she just hit her yang a couple of times because, you know, are we going to make Luke live or die? Is he going to be a bad guy? Is he going to be this? What are we going to do? And Skywalker was kind of the audience getting mad about Luke being Luke. Right, Mike? Right. Luke being Luke. Just it took a minute to realize, holy shit, he did that 30 years ago when he left Dagobah. Why would he change? And then all of a sudden it's a movie, and it's like, yeah, but you dumbasses said so much. Now you're not going to get a good send-off because they're going to be way too scared because, you know. And then we got Skywalker, and it was. I think a lot of these movies come from a lack of editing more than story, but
I liked it. They made Luke be Yoda, and I like it. Like I know one of the early things that George Lucas always said is this: it's like poetry, right? So for Luke to take on the Yoda role, because Yoda was like watching the old ones, Yoda was a little off. Yoda was a little off, and he was out in the field somewhere talking about the Force, and he was like, "Hey man, you can lift these rocks. Let me show you how to really do it. I'm gonna lift the whole plane up out of the." And then now watching these new ones, Luke is the same way. He's like, "Hey, we're just gonna burn the whole tree down. Don't even worry about it."
Look,
I'm like,
people don't want to have the discussion that Luke is the worst Skywalker ever.
The Skywalkers, yo, dude.
Everybody in the Skywalker family,
The Skywalkers are the worst,
except for Princess Leia.
Well,
the
she's
movie should have been about Princess Leia.
Yeah,
she's suffered the worst, and that woman didn't even dip a toe in dark side water. She's always been like, Luke is a bum. If you take out all the extra Star Wars stuff, the books, the comic books, and you just compare movie for movie, tell me how Luke becomes a master in 2 weeks. Tell me how hitting the backside of
it wasn't 2 weeks. It wasn't 2 weeks. It was 3 months.
Whatever.
It was 3 months.
Whatever. The dude doesn't have a resume to fly an X-wing fighter, but he gets in there and does that because he hit the backside of a wop rat. That is bullshit. And then y'all mad at Rey, who has lived on a planet her entire life fighting for survival against all odds, but she can't be good with a lightsaber. But Wop Rat Luke Skywalker can be.
No, but that's again the conversation we had. We me and this dude on the bottom. We have this conversation all the time. We've been having this conversation for years, and we agree, right? We agree. Mm-hmm. It's the expectation being let down by the reality, and therefore the excuse gets made up. Mm-hmm. I remember. I'll say one thing about Rise of Skywalker, and I'll say this again. People don't talk about what really was wrong. The Emperor shooting the lightning beams out of his hands, and the ship's just kind of shutting off. Where Rey strains a little bit and blows some shit up. They rewrote their rules in one movie. That dude did a lightning streak out of his hands. I sat there and said, "What the shit?" And planes are falling out of the sky. Poe falls for the rest of that movie. And I get it. There's gravity wells and stuff, but again, I think the Rise of Skywalker suffered from a lack of telling us what was going on, or explaining kind of they glance over a lot of things. One of the things is they should have played the Emperor's message. They talked about this Emperor's message that's in the galaxy. Why didn't they open the crawl and then after that play the Emperor's message as Kylo Ren was going into Mustafa, right? They could have did that, but there's a lot of subtleness in Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, that people don't realize. When Rey was training in the beginning, it kind of makes sense why Rey was a Palpatine. I didn't agree with that. I didn't like it. Mike, we agree. She should have been a nobody. I like that too. I didn't hate the Palpatine. I thought that was too on the, but in the beginning scene, go watch it now. Go to Disney Plus, whoever's watching when you're done. Rey was going after
Luke Skywalker, Thomas. Sorry.
It's cool. Rey was going after that training droid. You're not supposed to. I don't think she was a MacGuffin. I mean, yes, she was a heron. But
this is all I'm gonna say on this. I absolutely thought Rey should have been a nobody. I love the idea of that. I thought that was perfect. It was great. But when the Force Awakens came out, I did say, and it's on one of my streams. I'm just too lazy to go back and find it. I did say she's a Palpatine, and I said because of the way she handled her lightsaber. If you look at how she swung the lightsaber when she fought Kylo Ren when she was upset, she swings it like Palpatine.
And
but when I got the story though, when we got the second movie and they're like she's a nobody, I was like, bet that's better. Let's go with that.
I think at the three movies, I asked people this who didn't like them or thought they were terrible. They have their problems. Outside of the Last Jedi, it's the first three. It's the original three. I don't even count those prequels. And if you're telling me those are good, we can have a discussion about that too. Whoever wants to have that discussion. But I will say that when I talk to people and they're very much like, okay, so I asked them this. What was the first movie about? And they're like, the fall of Anakin Skywalker. Okay, what was the second one about? And they're like, it's the redemption of Anakin Skywalker. I go, okay, what's the third one about? And they're like, Rey, the Rays of Rey. I'm like, no, it's the redemption of Kylo Ren. The last movie revealed that Rey was just a MacGuffin to get to Kylo Ren being redeemed. Mm-hmm. I would have did that ending differently. We talked about that. But in that perspective, those three movies aren't bad. Ren was in all of them. He had the most character growth. Rey was, in the beginning of Skywalker, I'm telling you, she was swinging at that training droid, and I'm like, you're not supposed to do that. She was trying to get that thing. She wasn't blocking. Luke blocks, when he does all this. Yoda tells you, you never attack, you only defend. Rey was going for it. There's a lot of Rey subconsciously or subvertingly looking like she was a bad guy, which is why I was hoping she would have just turned and her and Kylo fought and he had to beat her and then brought her back and then died, and that brought her back. That's how I would have ended it. Plus, I would have had her fight all the acolytes and Palpatine too, but that's just my rewrite.
I gotta get out of here, but I'm gonna say this one last thing about Star Wars and to equate it to what we were talking about with Justice League. I think it suffered from the same, right? The studios felt pressure because their fan base was saying things that they didn't, they weren't comfortable with, so they changed some things right in the middle. But Star Wars also had the added detriment that J.J. Abrams was the one that started the new trilogy. And J.J. Abrams has notoriously been the guy to say, oh, here's some good ideas, but I have no clue where they're going to go. Like, he literally starts all Alias, he started like that. Lost, he started like that. Hey, man, I got this idea, and it could be cool, but I have no clue where it's supposed to go. So here it is. Now, y'all take it and do Fringe. He did like that, and I loved all these shows.
Oh, Fringe, man.
But the same thing happened in all of them.
Last 10 minutes.
It's like they
It's the last
they
10
start
minutes.
off good, and they have so much potential, but because J.J. Abrams isn't going to sit through and see it all the way through, they just, you know.
Yeah, he didn't. He admitted after everything came out that he didn't have a plan after that. Like, he set up this stuff, but then he didn't do anything else with it. And I was really disappointed at Kylo Ren. Like, I love The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
there's no denying. I'm always gonna own up to that. I love that movie, but you gave me this glimpse of Kylo Ren. Like, I love Kylo Ren. He was my favorite character. And then you took it away from me. Like, when I got Kylo Ren doing the shoulder shrug like Han Solo, being the good, I was like, man, why are you doing this to me? And then you killed him. I was, no. He did the shoulder shrug. Come on, man. You can't kill a Solo after they do that.
But Han was the one who sacrificed himself, though. Like, I think the completion of his arc was the sacrifice. Han sacrificed himself, and Kylo ended up sacrificing himself. Like,
so,
I mean, it's.
So are you on the boat where that you feel like? Because I feel like Han Solo turned on the lightsaber, not Kylo.
Yeah, I think Han knew what he had to do. I think Han understood this was this kid's growth, and he was willing to take the blow if he was willing to give it. Mm-hmm. That's how it came over to me. That was some real father-son, Thanos, Gamora. If there's anyone who's going to kill me, I'd rather it be you. If anybody was going to kill me, it's kind of that. I totally agree with Han understanding I might have to take one for the team to get this kid to the right side. He may have to dip a little to the dark side. I thought Kylo was interesting. I think he's one of the more interesting Star Wars characters. Luke's a farm boy who learned the ways of the Force, but this dude is the anti-hero because his parents were the hero. He turned his back on who he was supposed to be just to get back there after making some terrible mistakes, but the dude owned it. He owned it. I have people who are like, they hated him in that first one, and I'm like, why? They're like, he's like Vader. And I'm like, he wasn't like Vader. And I'm like, you wanted another Vader? That's not what. And part of me loving The Last Jedi was that Kylo Ren stepped up every time.
Yeah.
He kind of looked at what he did and said, well, time to move on. Leia blew up. He didn't shoot down the TIE fighters. He just moved on. He didn't know she was going to pull herself in. He thought she was dead. He cut his boss in half, and he looks at her for a minute. He's like, oh, we're done. Okay, Ray, what's it going to be?
Yeah. Kylo did what his father never could, what his grandfather never could. Yeah. He won.
Yeah. And in the third one, he was clearly in charge. He still had a crush on that dirt chick from the dirt planet. He did what his father never could, what his grandfather never. Sorry.
They had a connection. They had a connection, man. It's just like that.
Yeah, I mean,
y'all have had some connections with some women that you shouldn't have. That we ain't gonna talk about.
DJ Quick, you stop relating to real life. I mean, I'll be very. I do want to see. So, I don't want anybody to discount. Like, it hurts me, man, because like Ryan Johnson got dogged, and I'm like, man, if you really watch that movie, Ryan Johnson is a true fan of Star Wars. He paid.
Listen to him talk about. Listen to him talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I mean, they kind of.
He was trying to do something, but the legacy of it wouldn't let it happen. Because what his plan was to say, yo, it's not lines, right? He was like, okay, Skywalker's cool, that's cool and everything, but it's not about the bloodlines. The Force for everybody. So having the what I'm saying, like, that would have been great. I think it was great. And then that even leads into like the hope of the new Jedi, right? So the new Jedi can grow out of nothing, even if these old characters die off. Yeah, the new Jedi can grow out of that. You don't need the bloodline to have hope, right? So I think it would have been great for them to do that. But now we got Ray Palpatine Skywalker, and we got we'll see.
That's the thing that hurt though, because like you're absolutely right. That's the problem with the Force of Skywalkers is that it's so reliant on them doing something instead of the galaxy doing something. And when you open it up and make Rey a nobody who has the power to help advocate change, and you start dropping all these hints and that other people have the Force, like if you really think about it, the Jedi are messed up. If you were a certain age, if you didn't have enough power, they didn't come get you. If you were a certain age, you were left in the dust.
That was the one thing I thought he did that made sense. I thought there were things, the prequels, crappy prequels aside. I didn't. I thought the politics in the prequels were on. I thought that was important. I like the Jedi had a code, and the reason why they don't take you when you're young or past certain ages because you develop attachments. That's why they take you when you're 3 years old.
But guess what?
They take you at 3.
But guess what? If you don't take these kids and still teach them, that leads them to the dark side.
That's if their powers usually fade if you don't use them, right? That's what the Mandalorian taught us, right? Grogu's powers were going to probably fade away if he didn't practice.
If he didn't practice or whatnot.
You don't work on kung fu for one day. Kung fu takes 2 days off from you.
I got you, but I still feel like the Jedi had an elitist attitude that could have been adjusted. And I'm not saying the Sith are perfect. I agree. I agree with you. To me, hearing both sides, the Jedi and the Sith just need to come together. They need to balance each other.
They did that. Like the Dark Horse books did that. I thought literally Rey becomes a great Jedi at the end. A lot of people miss that. The yellow lightsaber is a great Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the yellow lightsaber at the end. The gray Jedi don't believe in dark or light. It's just the Force. I personally would have ended the Jedi. I would have ended the Jedi. Would have ended Luke. I'm glad they killed Luke. I love Luke, but Luke's arc was brilliant because it was literally the telling of what happened. It's the line that Harvey Dent says to Bruce, "What happens when you live so long, you become the bad guy."
Yeah,
he literally created Kylo Ren because of his own insecurities, which he carried. Somebody also made a good point about if Rey saw that lightsaber and touched it, and they showed what she saw. Imagine what Luke saw when he scanned Kylo Ren, and you heard what he saw.
Mm-hmm.
And his moment of weakness caused who wouldn't take themselves off the table. That makes sense. I get, you wanted to see Han, Luke, and Leia back, and them, giving Luke the little, the noogie from the, you're the little brother, but you got that. You got it with Chewie. You definitely got it with Han. Only people you didn't get it with was the trio, but you got it in parts. That part with R2 and him was magic. That was magic. Him and Yoda was magic. Even Han and Leia when he's all like new hair, it's like same jacket. That was cool. Chewie breaking down the door. It's like I don't give a shit who you are. There were moments that were great. But if you really want to talk about Anakin, and I know you're a fan of the Clone Wars, you saw that episode where, for those who don't know,
the animated Clone Wars, not the CGI one.
No, the CGI one, the Dave Filoni ones, where you found out that the purpose of Anakin was to live in an interdimensional space where he kept the Force in balance.
Mm-hmm.
You see that episode?
I didn't see that episode.
My man, I'll send you the episode. There are 3 episodes in the Clone Wars that encapsulates what the Chosen One is supposed to do. And what happens is Obi-Wan and Ahsoka and Anakin go into some wormhole and come out in between the universe where there's this old man, there's an old dude who is controlling his son and his daughter, and his son and his daughter represent the dark side and the light side of the Force. And he keeps them at bay, and he's dying. And he summoned Anakin because Anakin is supposed to take his spot. And there's 3 episodes in the Clone Wars, the CGI one. It's on the one that's on Disney Plus. I don't remember what the episode's called, but if you Google them, you'll find it. What happens is the old man takes a spot of. They brought back Liam Neeson. They brought back Shmi Skywalker. It was the real voice actors acting in their ghost form. Qui-Gon came back, was asking Obi-Wan if he trained the boy. What's his name? Anakin's mom showed up to Anakin and said, "Get away from Padme. She's dangerous for you." It was phenomenal. And what happened was the dark and the light side tried to taint Anakin to each side. And what the dark side did, the son of the father, was he showed him what would happen in the future. And he showed Anakin that he becomes Darth Vader and all the terror he brings to the galaxy. He shows him what happened, what actually happened in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
They have audio clips and everything that happened and all the Jedi getting wiped out. And he's like, this is the better path. And Anakin decides to join the dark side in this limbo. But then Obi-Wan and Ahsoka break him out of it. And what happens is he ends up taming the two sides, but they end up killing the old man and Luke. And what happens is Anakin and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka leave that part of the galaxy. And that's when the Force becomes imbalanced. That's why there's an imbalance in the Force. And I'm telling you, if there is an episode that encapsulates why there is a chosen one, what the chosen one's supposed to do, it's those. And it's crazy. I don't know why a lot of people didn't watch that. I saw it on a straight fluke. I wasn't huge on the Clone Wars. I kind of bounced in and bounced out. But those episodes, there are 3 episodes in that show that absolutely nailed what the Jedi and the Sith and the Chosen One was all about. He was supposed to keep a cosmic balance between light and dark. He wasn't supposed to kill the bad side or kill the good side because you couldn't have good without the bad. It was very metaphysical. It was very spiritual. He was to hold them at bay. And he did. He literally used the Force hold and he kind of made them kneel in front of it. It was crazy dope. And a lot of people missed it. I would say go watch it. It'll totally turn you around. Filoni is one of the best things that the prequels have ever had, Star Wars has ever had. He's really made into those.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah. You don't agree?
I have bias, and I can admit that.
What you got?
Just because of how they dogged the animated series, and I love the animated series so much, and it was canon.
The Jenny Tartarsky ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was canon up until they decided that it wasn't anymore, and then they came out with that CGI thing, and I just was like,
that was Lucas, dude.
And that's my thing.
He killed Thrawn. He got rid of the Thrawn books. He got rid of Dark Empire. He made all of that. Then Chewbacca dies on the Falcon, and it was the Leia and Han had 3 kids, right? It was Jason. Oh man, I don't remember. See, now we're going back. It was Anakin was the one who didn't have the Jedi powers. He was the pilot. He was a little brother, and they had twins, Jason and Jancia Solo. Mm-hmm. And what's his name? Anakin Solo took the Falcon, and Chewie got killed. The Falcon blew up and killed Chewbacca, and Han disowned him in the comic book, and it was great. And Lucas threw it all away. Read those Dark Horse books, dude. They were incredible. They even went to the Star Wars Legacy, where the last Skywalker is 1,000 years in the future, and he's a smuggler, and Luke visits him as a ghost, and he's supposed to become a Jedi, and the Jedi and the Sith have merged, and now it's just one Force. They all have yellow lightsabers. That's where the Gray Jedi came from. I mean, there was an extensive goings on with Star Wars that went way past Jedi. Mm-hmm. Before they did the prequels, that when he did those, he kind of erased. So I agree. I love the Jenny Tartarsky ones because they gave the Clone Wars, they gave the characters in the Clone Wars grit. I never understood why Obi-Wan was a pilot. I never understood that. I understood why Anakin was a pilot, but Obi-Wan hated to fly, flying's for droids. In the Clone Wars, the cartoon that we're both talking about, he wasn't. He was a ground commander. Yeah. Right? Anakin was in the air. That made sense. Like seeing that, and I saw the Revenge of the Sith, the beginning start, the part of the beginning. I literally was like, why isn't Anakin flying cover for Obi-Wan as he goes in to negotiate? Why didn't they? And it's little stuff like that, man. Wouldn't that have been better if they were both being in the ship? Like Anakin is literally flying him in. He's in a Republic cruiser. Anakin's taking a heat, and he's going in to negotiate the release of Palpatine. That would have made sense, and it was obvious. And there's a lot of that stuff missing in those prequels that kind of just made me go, again, what are we doing this for? But that's my argument with a lot of stuff. It's just it's the kill argument again. It's just that. So
well, need to move us on so we close out here because we can go on that.
All right.
So we're into our final section here. The MCU. And I want to start off with that they just released a Shang-Chi clip, a minute clip.
The bus.
Actually,
Let me see on the bus.
Yeah, let me see if I can
Play
shut that
Play it because can I talk through it while you play it? No, I'm not. I'll comment at the end.
No, you can talk through it because I'm gonna.
No, I just want to enjoy it. No, I'll talk through it at the end. I saw it maybe like an hour before the show started, and I was like, oh, no, a little earlier than that. And I'm glad we're talking about this. This was oh man, these.
Yeah, this thing is incredible.
It is.
Like, it just got me even more hyped for this. Like, I'm already hyped. I'm already there.
Right.
I'm very excited about this movie. And let me see here. There we go. Let me turn the volume off. This dude's basically talking trash, like, give me that gem on your neck. And she's like, why are you messing with this?
He can fight. He can't fight. Look at him. Yeah. Hit that sound, bro. This part was crazy. She was.
YouTube will cancel me for the sound.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
So, that's what I'm saying. It's okay for us to talk through it. I mean, look
this
how
is
this is.
I mean, forget this being a Marvel movie. This is my argument with a lot of action movies in the United States that America makes that they don't do. This is straight up martial artists being martial artists with cinematographers filming it correctly. It is a wide shot. The editing is perfect. The close-ups are perfect. The shaky cam is on point. You could see that he's doing it. It's a one take in parts. They couldn't that movie, that scene right there would have been 4 different scenes in so many other movies.
Yeah.
And man, Disney, I've been complaining about when are the directors and the choreographers gonna start looking at Hong Kong cinema and these karate flicks that have been around for 50, 60 years and study them on how to do a fight scene. And again, time and time again, we get a lot of examples of, Jackie Chan in these movies in the 90s, and we know how competent he is, but they only film what they know they could film. Jet Li was in a couple. They said they had to slow the film down because they know how to shoot him. Just go watch the dudes in China shoot. Watch all the Jet Li, Feng Yu movies and Invincible Asia and the Swordsman 2 and stuff, and you'll get it. And these dudes did it. This is phenomenally good.
Like, I'm so in the movie theaters to go see this, man.
Yeah. This looks great. I mean, being excited. They said Ben Kingsley's coming back too.
I heard. Yeah. You got Abomination. You got.
Did you see Hail to the King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people didn't see that, and hopefully it takes off from there. They bring him in front of this dude. Yeah, this was just it's another example. That was Friday, right?
Yeah.
that was Friday.
That was today.
That was today.
So Shang-Chi, which is it's pronounced Shang-Chi. Definitely going to go see that. Super excited about it. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Like I said, I wasn't even really interested in the figures, and then I saw the trailers. The trailer, like really the official trailer and whatnot, and then I went and hunted down all the figures. Like, I'm all about this. This is what I'm here for. Yeah. So very excited about that. It's like Marvel cannot miss. Next up on Thursday, they announced Riri Williams is going to debut in Black Panther 2. What? We already knew she was getting the TV show, but they said, you know what? We about to put her in Black Panther 2.
Yep.
It's probably going to be a small cameo, but the fact that they're introducing, like, this is where they're at right now. This is the level that they're at. They can just introduce characters into wherever they want to.
I mean, she's going to roll with his sister. I mean, not roll with his sister, but clearly they're going to have a relationship. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure whatever way they do it, it's going to be organic. Ryan Coogler is a phenomenal director. He writes really good stories. He writes emotional stories. They have that setup where they're already in LA from the first movie. Mm. Yeah, remember they set up that whole thing in LA. I don't know where he's from, but you can make the argument that it's one of those Wakanda reach out facilities that they have. I mean, at this point, I don't see how people can complain, man. Disney, forget the week we had, like on a weekly basis, is just giving us just tremendously good media over and over again. You know, this week was just an extra treat because we got a lot of look what's coming, and a lot of that stuff looked phenomenal and said a lot of. Also with this dude, they announced Captain America 4.
Yeah.
With
they announced, but then I guess this week they actually closed the deal.
Right.
That kind of stuff annoys me because like it just shows how much news isn't out there, and they're just trying to grab every straw they can. Because a day after the season finale of Captain America and Winter Soldier, they said Sam Wilson's going to be in. They said it a day after the season premiere.
Well, they understand that's the business, right? They're gonna keep you enticed. Like, oh, guess what? We just inked the deal. It's permanent. Mm-hmm. Oh, guess what? Deadpool and Korg are reviewing Free Guy. They did that a couple weeks ago. Remember that?
That was great. That was great.
Yeah. they're throwing bones. And they understand their audience, and they're doing a good job. I asked, dude, my aunt, I pulled her teeth a couple of months ago. She didn't want to see Disney movies, so I got her to Disney Plus and said, listen, let's just watch these together. And I would say by Winter Soldier, man, she was like, when we doing the next one? When we doing the next one? When we doing the next one? Like, she was in. And then watching subsequently ever since. Oh, did you watch WandaVision? Oh, did you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? Up into, What If. So they're doing a great job, man.
I got no complaints from them, man. Then finally, the movie that I was least excited about, they dropped the Eternals trailer this week. And that Eternals trailer claps. Like, all right, now we know what they're fighting.
Yep.
Now we know why they did not help with Thanos.
Yep.
We got the information that everyone's been asking.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I really wasn't curious why they didn't help with Thanos. Obviously, there was a reason.
Right.
Obviously, they're going to tell us the movie.
Right.
But because people are so nitpicky and they want to try to, find a flaw in Marvel's plan. Not to say that Marvel's perfect, but they got win after win after win after win. At some point they're going to come up with a flaw. But if that big 8-eyed red MFer told me not to do nothing, I wouldn't do shit either.
Well, he's one of the ones who created them, so he's their top, right? Mm-hmm. And again, for people who complain so much about or looking for the flaws in the cracks in the wall, there were people who were thinking that was Galactus.
Yeah,
like that was like see, there it is right there. You don't even know who that is to be like, oh well, Eternals looks terrible, or why are we watching this? Like you're not gonna be, if you don't realize by now from the Guardians of the Galaxy, all these risks they took that paid off. I wasn't interested in Ant-Man when they announced Ant-Man. I could care less. I'm like, ugh, Paul Rudd's playing Ant-Man. Oh, they're gonna. Here's the flop. But Guardians of the Galaxy, here's the flop. Like, and they not only am I not hating it, I'm tearing up at the end of Guardians 2. I might not have been your daddy, your father, but I'm your dad. Like I'm like, oh man, come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then Chloe Zhao was a great director. Look like that shot right there. There's just the little house in the. That's the argument we were having earlier. Go back to that one scene real quick. Go back to that opening shot. This is a Facebook. We were talking when you post that thing on Facebook, right? That right there, what you see in the movies, you don't see on your television.
Yeah.
That's the argument. That's why theaters still matter in some terms. I don't care how big the TV is or how loud the stereo is. That's not going to look the same. It's not.
I'm not going against that. I absolutely get that. My point is on what that director's talking about. He's not talking about from that heart. He's talking about from his contract right now. Because
you
HBO Max the same day as
you hear him speak before. It's funny because they weren't going to put Dune on HBO Max. That was the one that wasn't going to be on. They did that. They decided that over the summer.
I know.
But that dude's a fan of cinema. He's like Quentin Tarantino. Like he wants to shoot a 16 millimeter.
He absolutely can be a fan of cinema. I get that. But at this point right now, he's not being a fan of cinema. Him and a lot of other directors and other people that have these movies premiering on HBO Max the same day, they have stuff in their contract that they are getting bonus money based off how that movie performs.
Yeah, box office sales.
So, and he's already been an advocate for arguing that aspect and being pissed off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, I get it. I'm going to the movie theaters. I'm
Right.
going to go see these movies. But guess what, Dune? I wasn't going to the movie theaters to see you anyway. Even if it wasn't a pandemic, I wasn't.
I'm reading, dude. I'm reading the book right now. I'm trying to go see that in the movie theater.
Look, let me tell you what made my decision for me. Me and my wife, we tried to watch Dune, the old Dune.
Oh no! Yeah. No.
We tried to be like, hey, let's check this out. Get ready. We did it. And we
listen.
And we tapped out 3 minutes in.
Yo, I gotta tell you, I've been trying to watch that movie for 15 to 20 years. I got family members who have read the books. That's why I got the book. Every friend is laughing at me because I'm the only one that didn't. There's not you didn't read the books, you're an idiot, And I'm like, yo, I can't get past that movie. I tried to watch it on HBO Go. HBO Max when it came out. It was on and I said, I'll give it another shot. So that was less than a year ago. I'm with you, man. I can't get a half hour in. I can't get a half hour. And I've been trying to watch this since I was in my early 20s. I can't get past that movie. That movie just looks terrible. So I'm with you 100%. Yeah, so I got a lot of my friends are like, it's not that bad, but they're also saying it's not like the book either.
Yeah.
This movie is akin to the book. It's what the book is. I can tell you, I'm on page 90 in like the book. The book's like 500 pages, right? When I was on page 20, they released the trailer. That's how long I haven't been reading the book. I got to read it so I can catch up before the movie comes out. I understood more in the trailer in the 20 pages I read than I did in that other movie. The reason why I started watching the movie on HBO Max is because I read some of the book and I said, well, I can relate more. And I turned it on and I was like, I still can't relate. It doesn't start the same way. It doesn't have the same characters in the same places. It's just, don't use that as a guide.
Right.
But this looks great.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter though, because like I said, I wouldn't have gone to the theater to see it. But this, like you said, looks amazing. Like this trailer is the trailer that sealed the deal for me to ensure, like, hey, I was gonna go because it's an MCU movie, and they built up 24 films that have secured my ticket. But this, now I'm excitedly going. Like, I can't wait to see what this is about. What are they gonna do?
And Chloe Zhao is a
fantastic
Oscar, and you hear her talk about this. They asked her a couple of months ago after it was shot what it was like working with Marvel, and she's like, that was the best experience I ever had in my life. She said they let me shoot what I wanted to shoot, how I wanted to shoot it. She said I used the same cameras I used when I did Nomadland. I used everything. They didn't say no to me. And I'll tell you this about Disney. If this acclaimed directors in the world of directors does well, and she's like, my experience as well, Disney's going to start drawing really big directors. Because you can make the argument, as great as Taika Waititi is and what's his name is, and you know, the brothers, they're not as they don't have as many accolades, or at least they don't have the accolades she has. Right. She's doing this coming off of that movie she won the Oscar for, and she won multiple Oscars for that last year. And she's like, this movie was amazing. And if she's telling you the experience was dope, and because it was dope for her, she got to shoot how she wanted, and we sit here and watch that and then go, holy shit, this is a whole new level. Disney's just gonna keep rising, man. They're gonna start bringing in really big talent. I'm telling you.
I mean, look, they got Christian Bale. They got a ton of actors for Thor Love and Thunder.
Right. And as much as Scorsese complains, mark my words, man, they're grooming him. It would not surprise me. I bet on it that he does a Marvel movie.
Hey, and I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, you will. You're not gonna watch a Scorsese movie?
I'm not gonna watch it because I'm petty.
If he does Kingpin. Yeah, see, there you go. Come on, homie. If he does Sinister Six, take anything gangster related. Come on.
Anything gangster related.
Come on. Kingpin, directed by Martin Scorsese with D'Onofrio playing the part. Come on, man. You wouldn't go see that? I'd come get you from Ohio, and we would go see it together. I would go and see it with you, and I would sit there. My whole, look. This is me next to you in the theater, arms crossed, looking at you. You all right, Mike? You liking this movie, right? You're liking it, right? I'm telling you, it's be careful what you wish for, man.
We'll see. And
the internet is forever.
and
forever.
And what we're gonna close out with is the last 2 episodes of What If. The final topic.
What if?
I've heard a lot. I don't know, man. I know I've said a lot of stuff that have been on here that I like, but What If really surprised me. I had a feeling I was going to enjoy it, but they really delivered on it. Captain Carter, jeez.
Oh,
jeez. Did anybody else notice that she was vicious? That like
she was a better Cap than Cap was in the first Avenger.
Dude, she was Captain America in Civil War.
Yeah.
In her first downing of the suit.
Yeah. She was that dude in the Winter Soldier on the boat. She was that person. But I will tell the audience what I said to you when we talked about what I thought about that first one. That What If. What did I say to you? You remember that? Yeah, I'll say it. You want me to say it again? I'll say it. He-Man done right. There you go. Right? I told you that's He-Man done right. The tone, the language, the whole 1940/50, tone to it, the music, everything was perfect. And Disney,
the same situation.
Yeah, and Disney is literally the only American company I say out here now that rivals anime. It's so nice to see Disney get back to 2D art. Let Pixar do the beautiful 3D stuff. Your 2D stuff, that was.
But that's the thing, JP. That's 3D.
Yeah, but it's 3D framed and then 2D animated over the thing. So you're still seeing the same style that you saw in The Little Mermaid and like Beauty and the Beast. They still have the eyes and that whole Disney animated swirl about them. Mm-hmm. And that was hot. And yeah, and then I saw it last week and I'm like, okay, so this is the tone. This is the level of where they're gonna go. And I got up on Wednesday and watched that second episode. And I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna ask you a question. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you still, after that second episode of What If, do you still think they should recast T'Challa?
I think they absolutely need to now.
Oh my God, bro.
That episode proved how important the T'Challa character is to the
I don't know. The homage that this multi-international company that wants racists and leftists and rightists and Republicans and Democrats and Christians and Satanists all riding a teacup ride together, holding hands, singing "A Small World After All." That company who understands, we like what's his face from Guardians, who's the guy directed. I got Scorsese in my head now. James Gunn. Like James Gunn, but we gotta do something. We gotta quiet him. Yeah, the tweets were bad. We gotta play that game. I didn't like it either, like everybody didn't, but I understood Disney walks that line. But with that being said, the homage that they gave to this black actor, that he was so important to their company that they're retiring the character. And then the stuff that's left, they write him in such majestic awe. Son, he talked Thanos out of doing the Infinity Saga. It was a conversation. It was a conversation with some beer. It was a beer summit. So Barack Obama tried to do a couple years ago. Dude, he talked the plan through the whole show. Oh, it was quick and it was efficient, and it was random. They're like, it sounds like genocide. Dude, that you really want him to? I have a solution. If Disney's listening, what will silence me? It'll silence Mike. Mike, I said this to you in our conversations. You agreed. Do you still agree with my solution? With what I think we should do? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Bring back T'Chaka. You're doing the multiverse. Bring back T'Chaka. Tell him his son died. Bring him back young. You got Black Panther. You got the Black Panther who really doesn't give a shit. And he does it in homage to Stella gets a groove back, right? Angela Bassett, she still gets the group.
Oh God.
Literally, she gets the young king now, and she worked out for a reason. So there you go. And he stays there and he runs in the stead of his dead son with Riri, with his daughter. You don't need Chadwick Boseman to do the part. Unfortunately, he died. There's nothing we can do about it. I was as heartbroken as everyone else is, but don't recast him. Don't bring that dude from the Netflix show who's trying to be Bond. It's not going to work. You're not going to do it. Disney knows that. They know it.
Hey,
that's my answer. Bring back T'Chaka. Bring him back.
Fine. That's fine. I'll accept what they're gonna do. But man, T'Challa, that episode of what showed how dope T'Challa was.
It was great.
Without Black Panther powers.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna touch the necklace and the suit was gonna come on.
I thought so too.
I was like, okay, he has a suit. He's gonna rock the suit now. Nope. Everybody was different. I'm gonna say it. This is a little rated R, son. I mean, that's what's dope about What If. If you would have asked me a week ago, I would tell you these are the old 80s cartoons I grew up on because the people died off screen. You saw them get shot, you can see the bodies fall. You see the gate, and you see the holes in the gate, and you go, okay, bullets go through people, those people are dead. Disney's doing that. It's violent, it's fitting violence, it's not gratuitous violence. And they went a little step further because I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it on the internet. T'Challa was smashing Nebula. It was called him Cha-Cha. You don't have a nickname for no reason. She never called him T'Challa. She never called him anything. He wasn't Star-Lord. He was Cha-Cha, right? Every time she opened her mouth, Cha-Cha, Cha-Cha, Cha-Cha. They had secret plans that the what do you call it? Didn't know. Nobody was in on the plan except for those two. Hey, you know what? They were. I'm sorry. Kitties don't.
Came back and said, Star-Lord?
Yeah.
Star-Lord. Like when they did that turn, that was great.
Yeah.
Super hilarious.
Yeah.
I know some people I don't know why people aren't feeling the animation on it. I think it's dope.
Animation is great. It's Disney.
Do you guys realize that they're trying to get something that's still close to the live action?
Yeah.
Is still in their world. Like it's animated, but they still want some sense of
they want it to look like yep. And the fact that they're doing on a circumstance or here change and cause a new branch, even with Ego showing up with it, what's the names at the Denny's?
Yeah.
Quill's at the Denny's mopping up, and they brought Kurt Russell in. But that's what they did with Tron. Tron was like that too. The Tron Uprising, that show that was on Disney XL that nobody watched or XP because it was on at a weird hour on Saturday night on Disney XP. Mm-hmm. That was also all the Tron characters animating their animated character voices from the real movie. So, yeah, man, it was. These guys are knocking it out. They're knocking it out.
Yeah, I'm very much still looking for the next episode. Like I said, I looked at and Marvel is getting me. The only ones they haven't convinced me on is the Eternal toys. The Eternal toys look whack. But the What If toys, I was like, I can do without them. Then I watched that first episode. I'm like, I'm getting them. I'm getting Peggy Carter. I'm gonna get T'Challa, and once I get those two figures, I'm like, well, I can't not
have the rest of the
other ones to have the line complete. But man, if we get to this point where Peggy Carter shows up in Doctor Strange too,
or how about this? I said this last week. Okay, now I want to see a spinoff of Captain Carter. Let's do that. Let's make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's clearly they're not because that destroys What If and the premise of What If. But man, that's something they could put in their bag and keep for when, I
mean, we don't know. Obviously, we don't know how Doctor Strange is going to end. Doctor Strange can set up tons of things. We can get Peggy Carter staying over here and being part of the Avengers.
That'd be something.
I mean, they already did say that Peggy Carter is going to be a reoccurring character in What If or whatnot. But very, very excited at all the geek possibilities with what MCU is doing, man. I mean, and just think about this year. We've gotten so much content from them this year alone.
Yeah.
Alone, we've gotten so much content. But looking forward to all of it. I'm going to close out with this one thing, and then we're going to call it a good night. And I want to thank my substitute co-host, JP, and DJ Quick for joining me tonight. This week, I went ahead and, I got the Freestyle Comics company checking account. Got that done. Did this whole grown big boy adult thing, and set that all up. And then I came home and I sat at my computer, and once I unlocked my computer and turned it on, this came up in my time stream as the very first thing I saw when I turned my computer on. And I'm gonna tell you, I immediately bought it. I said, well, I just did this grown-up thing.
Show what's going. Show what's going.
So now I get to do this kid thing and buy this gun. I have wanted this alien pulse rifle forever. And now Nerf made it. Look, this thing is legit. It's got the counter on it. It's got the clip. It's got the sound effects. It got the grenade launcher on the bottom. It does. I mean, the only thing it is not is the colors, and that's because they don't want kids getting shot. Because it's like real gun.
Yeah.
So I can accept that, dude. I did not hesitate to pull the trigger on this when I got home. I was like, well, I've been responsible for today, so I need to reward myself. Click.
Life is short, my man. Life is short. You're just gonna, you should. I'm not mad at you for getting that. I ain't mad at you for getting that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making space on the wall here real soon. One of the guns is getting retired.
That X-wing behind me was an impulse buy a couple weeks ago.
I dig it.
Like, dude, you had an X-wing. How come you don't have one? I'm still trying to get the Falcon for when I was little. Still trying to get that.
I'm still trying.
Still trying to get the Falcon when I was little. Hanging right next to him.
The Falcon is my MacGuffin.
Yeah.
But I don't want the old one. I want the one that Hasbro Labs made, like the super.
The one that was 200 retail. Yeah. It's on eBay for about $8, and I'm like, yeah, I do too.
What's up, Keeman?
All the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I want that one at some point in my life, and then it's not out yet, but they already sold out of it. They did the Mandalorian ship the same way.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's already sold out.
Nice. Yeah.
But it's a collector's life we lead. So. Yeah,
man. Definitely.
All right. Well,
yes, sir.
Look, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate you. I think here I still have it. Do I still have it saved here? Let's get it out here. Let's go check out JP's Kickstarter, man.
Yes,
he
sir.
is more, just a little bit at 50% for it. Let's go over here and pledge it. Just check out his book. Help this man hit his goal of $1,500. He has a $733 with 26 days to go. Let's help him hit that goal. Go check that out. Thank you, JP, for joining us tonight.
It's a pleasure, man. This is just one time of us doing this in front of the internet. We do this all the time.
Right.
It's a regular thing.
I want to thank the chat for coming and hanging out with us. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and all that. Well, Twitch and YouTube and all that good stuff. So thanks for coming out and hanging out with us this week. Next week, we should be all back together. The regular cast of Agents of Nerdy should be back together. We're on our own mini adventures this week, but we'll be back next week. So please join us next Friday at the same time of 9 p.m. Eastern on our Twitch channel, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook channel, things like that. You can catch me as Most Epic Art, the most enthusiastic person in comics, at all social media. JP, where can they find you at?
BlackberryJuice.net. You can find me at Jean-Paul Deschamps on Twitter, and follow Japes on Instagram, and
awesome.
Jean-Paul on Facebook. Yeah.
Cool beans. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Chat with you later.
Peace.